Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us, we have the Aomais. This is the Power 1. It's an AM/FM NOAA weather band emergency radio. I got this off Amazon for a total of $34.99. Watch for coupons. It comes in two colors, orange and green. Pretty neat. So check out the box. Aomais multi-purpose crank solar radio, Power 1. You got some bullet points there. Pretty basic. This caught my eye. 5,000 milliamp hour charger. Nice. And the looks. I do like the look of this one. I think it's pretty neat. I do like my emergency radios. A lot of people like them also to have them on hand. There's some information there, some social media. And on the back it says, never lost power. They look pretty happy there. They got their radio. Rock on. Okay, let's open this up. See what we get inside the box. Yeah, so the big claim to fame on this radio is that high capacity. I'm glad to see radios doing this. 5,000 milliamp hour battery is a pretty decent battery for the radio. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in here, so let's go ahead. See if I can't slide this out here. Nice. It's like a blister pack here. Okay, let's see. Get everything out of there? No. There's all kinds of little paperwork and everything. Okay, box is el emptio. All right. We're greeted with a charging cable. Now, cool enough. Look at this. It is a Type-C to USB, but the key word is Type-C. This is probably, I think, my first emergency radio with Type-C. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty awesome. Taking that. Type-C is great because you plug it in either way and you're rocking. That is nice. That was this little piece of paper. Support. Call them if you need them. Pause read. Okay. Next, I'm just digging out what we got here. We got some more paperwork. Important information to our friends. Please read the back of flyer. We promise that you get more than safety from our emergency radio. This is cool, dear friend, and you can read all that if you need to. Got a 1 warranty. Got an activation code. Okay. The user manual. Yes, I know all this paperwork's there, but people like to see it all. In case you lose your manual, you'll have this as posterity. So on the cover of the manual, it's pretty basic, multi-purpose flashlight radio for using. Read the entire manual. Okay, carefully, it says. Radio operation, there it is. Layout of all the buttons. SOS alarm, flashlight, we'll go over all that. It's pretty cool. Liking that. I like the SOS feature. That's actually, should be on almost all emergency radios, I think. And getting over here, just trying to show you everything. There you go. What I wanted to touch on was here in the manual. It's pretty neat to spin the handle for a minute. And you can use the beam. It says for 50 minutes, or radio for 6 minutes. Now that's reversed. Flashlight would be 6 minutes. Radio would be 50 minutes. Radio consumes a lot less power than those flashlights, definitely. Same with that bottom one. Spin the handle for 3 minutes. You will get 4 hours. Let's see, does it say of radio? No, it says 4 hours of illumination. So it's 4 hours of radio or 15 minutes of illumination. So they just reverse that. But definitely, yeah, if you guys know radios, you know they don't consume much energy. Your light consumes a lot more. So here's the back real quick. It's got a solar panel. It's got charging status indicators. We'll talk about that. Kind reminder about the battery. And here is some specifications. And we'll go over some of that too. Try to remember. The solar power, yeah, it's 0.2 of a watt. Don't expect to charge it fast. That's for sure. There's some information about the radio. Kind of cool. 20 hours on a full charge. I believe that's underestimated. I think it's definitely conservative estimate. LED lighting, reading lamp, 40 hours. Nice. Radio and light, 6 hours. And radio and reading lamp, 15 hours. Nice. Cool to see that they tested that because it's a lot of work to do that. All right, next. Carry lanyard. Yay, fun. Also, in this packaging, I noticed some little guy hiding out in here. It's a compass. They gave us a compass, and it's separate from the radio. That's awesome. And yeah, I think it's a working compass. Let's see. Bullet point north. Depends how many times I smack it around. Okay, that is north, actually. Well, maybe not. Well, it's inexpensive and you get it for free. So definitely test it with your current compass. But maybe my phone's messing up because I was just thinking earlier it was working. Okay, next we have the radio in the blister pack. Nice. Comes protected sleeve. Let's get it out of there. All right, so now we're to the radio. Finally, right? Okay, let's go over dimensions. I'm going to make this real visible. I'm going to put this on a different background because the red, you know, sometimes tends to wash out the colors. So we'll do it this way. We'll bring it on downtown, close and personal. There we go. All right, so dimensions of this radio. See, looking cool. I do like the futuristic look of it. 6 3/8 of an inch in length. We have 3 1/8 inch in width here, and a depth of 2 1/8 of an inch. That includes the tuning knobs to the back. Pretty neat. So size comparison, we can bring in CC pocket, got that handy. You guys can kind of see that in frame. I gotta bring this back up, I guess. We'll put it back down in a second. Give you an idea for size comparison. Cool. Next we have CC Skywave SSB. It's a cool little radio in itself there. Nice wide look to that radio. And of course we have Iron Man, he's the man with the master plan. He can spin like no one can. He loves Aomais, Power 1 from China Land. He's emergency man. There you go. You get an idea for cards. All right. So let's talk about features of the Aomais Power 1. Bring it back on down. Okay, so right away on the left-hand side, we have some cool illumination. We have 2 cob lights, each producing, I believe, 250 lumens, giving you 500 lumen output. Pretty amazing. We have a deep reflector there with an LED in the bottom, providing about 100 lumens. Nice setup. On the front, we have a little speaker there. It's rather tinny, but you know, on an emergency radio, as long as it's effective, it works. 1.5 inches behind a speaker grill. I like how they did the 3 slots. Pretty neat setup. Here we have our battery level status. This lights up when the radio is on, and it's always on, unfortunately. I wish it would turn off. It's kind of annoying. These bright white lights you'll see in a little bit. Here is a charging status. It's bright here, so it's picking up a solar charge. We have a green LED tuning indicator. Our dial FM on top, 87 to 108, is fairly accurate. AM, 520 1710, and our weather band. You can see it's got 7 channels. On the front here, we have some white lettering on the radio. I wish they would have used like a black lettering or something a little bit more contrasty. But it says here AM, FM, weather band, alert. So you have the 4 modes. Aomais. We have the volume on-off knob, tuning knob, and our SOS. Press and hold. Press and hold again, turn it off. I had to try to remember that. This thing's jamming away, waking up the neighbors. Flashes the light and does the siren. Let's see, back inside here, we got the charging ports. I did test these, which is awesome. You got a Type-C input for charging the radio, and you got the USB output, excuse me, USB output. It's 5 volts, 1 amp, and it provides what a 5,000 milliamp hour power bank should provide, near 3,000 milliamp hours at 5 volts. That's average on a simple power bank. So, yeah, tested and worked, and it held that 1 amp output at 5 volts really steadily throughout the entire process of charging. So in emergency, they say not to use this as a power bank. Makes sense. So in emergency, that's going to come in really handy. That's another nice thing about having a high capacity emergency radio is that feature for charging a phone. I could definitely charge a smaller phone fully with this radio if this is fully charged. That's excellent. Top of the radio, we got the button for the light. We can turn the lights on. We got our center light goes on. There you go. Get an idea. Let's bring in Iron Man. Iron Man. And then you got the floodlights, which is even brighter. And then you got both. So yeah, that's one nice thing about this light, the optional lighting source. And it's very bright and lights up the room. Nice to see on an emergency radio. That is a really slick setup. Okay, so this here we got a solar panel, and underneath that is reading lamps. So let's bring this up. There you go. You can set the radio up in a way that works for you, and you can do some reading with it. It's kind of nice. Like a tail stand. I guess it could if you don't knock it around too much. So yeah, it has the reading lamp source there. Loving that. Behind a diffuse panel. Turns off when you close it. It's not motion activated. Some radios have that. Here we have the FM antenna. I really like this antenna. It's 16 inches and it's locked in here, which is nice. And it swivels. Not 360, but it does have a nice swivel to it. And yeah, the 16-inch length really gives it good reception. We have a switch over here. It says on off. You can actually disengage the entire radio so the lithium battery does not run dry by being turned on accidentally. I do like that. There is no dry battery, optional dry battery. And if you notice, there's no way to replace that internal battery unless you're crafty and you take it apart and there's a way for you to replace it. But other than that, yeah, there's no little compartment for the battery. That would be nice to see because some radios that compete in this sector do have that. Here we have the Dynamo crank. Pretty basic. You flip this up, rock and roll, you spin it away. Yay, it works. It's very smooth. It's probably one of the smoother dynamos. There's no spot where it catches on the gear, so it seems like it's well made. So there you are. I don't use dynamos often. You shouldn't either, only in an emergency, but it's there for that reason. And the bottom, I think it just has a little information there about the charging. There you go. You can see how it works there, input, output. Was it charge at an amp and it outputs at an amp. Nice. And the model number, of course, Power 1. I like that name, Power 1. That rocks, dude. I got the power. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, I'm crazy, right? Crazy todderbert. Okay, so yeah, we talked a little bit about what it provides, the input, outputs, flashlight. So FM reception, I like to talk about the FM band. Don't really get a chance to really go through it. FM reception, I base it on a 5-tier method. Fair, okay, good, very good, excellent. I sit upstairs and I tune this radio throughout the entire FM band, marking every station I find. I take my time, try to hunt down the stations, even when they're faint. This is a very sensitive radio. I notice you can find some very faint stations, but to really pull them in and listen to them, it's difficult. So it gets it gets a good rating. It found 55 stations, where a typical analog radio gets about 45 to 48. And this is your typical old school analog FM AM radio. Here's an old Panasonic. And this one gets about 48, gets an okay to good, so it's slightly above average because it has a DSP chip, and it locks in on the stations really nice. It does it so well that the selectivity is hindered by that. I gave the selectivity an okay to good rating, an average rating. So overall, a 2 3/4 star rating on FM, not bad for an emergency radio. Let's see what else we have. A daytime AM, good for locals only. Any faint stations or trying to distance stations, forget it. I think this battery level indicator does produce some noise, a little buzzing sound. I picked that up on faint stations, but strong stations, you won't hear it. We're in the evening, so we may not pick it up at all, but I did notice some buzzing, probably from that display there. Let's see, that's it for that. Oh yeah, and NOAA reception. During the day, I got 5 stations. We'll see what we can pick up tonight. So let's do an audio demo. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on FM. I have an FM transmitter over here hanging out. Let's show you this. C-Crane FM transmitter 2. You can see it's transmitting right now. I have an MP3 player hooked up to it, transmitting royalty-free music over the airwaves to this 92.9 megahertz FM, so we can listen to some music on the radio. And you kind of see what demos, and you can compare it to my other videos to get an idea how it sounds. So go ahead and turn it on. Our tuning indicator, and there's our battery level status. Feel the bass.
Otis, you crazy mother.
There you go. You got the idea for the radio. The volume's really sensitive. It gets from quiet to loud pretty quickly if you bump this. So you'll run into that. But it's not too big a deal. Just something to watch. Okay, let's go ahead and turn that off. And let's go ahead and extend the antenna and see if we can pick up some NOAA weather stations. So pop that antenna out there. Yeah, that's a tight fit. Oh, yep, I'm bumping that. So yeah, this sits nice and snug. I like that. Let's go ahead and bring the antenna up, see if we don't bang the boxes around here. Okay, so we're going to tune in, see what I can pick up downstairs in the basement. We'll put the tuning all the way at the bottom on channel 1, see if we can pick that up. I got to get to the weather band. So you got weather alert, which is nice. Let's go to weather band.
Dells, it was cloudy. And 41. In La Crosse, it was cloudy. And it was 43. And Dubuque, it was cloudy. And it was 42. In Waterloo, it was...
So we got 2 there. That 1 second was faint.
4 to 6 feet, occasionally to 8 feet, building to 12 to 16 feet, occasionally to 21 feet. Friday, northwest gales to 35 knots, becoming north 10 to 20 knots.
So if you had a storm approaching, you would tune in your strongest station, local to you, and hit alert. And then it would turn the radio on if it got an alert tone. As you can see, it's in a weather standby mode and is searching for that signal. Excuse me, that tone. So it activates the radio.
10 to 20 knots. Chance of rain in the morning, then rain light.
Like somebody mentioned, it's like a squelch for an emergency radio, pretty much.
Saturday night, southwest winds 10 to 20 knots, becoming northwest 15 to 25 knots. Chance 15 knots. Here is the forecast for the Chicago metropolitan area.
So there we go. We have four stations down here. Not too bad. That's nice. Let's go ahead and put the antenna down. Yeah, I'd normally do an FM band scan, but the FM band has a lot of music on there. And you know what? We're going to do an FM band scan. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I changed my mind. We'll go quickly through it. I won't hover on any music. So let's go to the bottom of the band. See what we can pick up on the FM, if we can down here.
The fathers of the church all
something, and then the next day
Not bad.
Incarnate, virgin born, sinless. The future. Psalm 32 says, why should I be afraid?
So DSP tuning, a little tricky, but not too bad.
Proud partner of March Madness.
Best Fiends.
Sportsbook. Yesterday was our Rico Cast. Where else to turn? Psalm 62 says, years old, it was a big idea to drive positive. As an oak-inspired man, you mean so much. My body tingles all over. Environmental operations help you and your family.
What makes us better? You're my best friend. If you need a freak.
Good tune.
Again and again.
No way. You could have a... I got the mop. Watch me wash them like detergent.
¿Dónde llamas?
Alright, cool. So we did a little band scan. Not bad. It's picking up really well downstairs here. It's typically a dead zone for FM. Really nice. Okay. So we'll put this down. What we're going to do is we're going to do an AM band scan. Like I mentioned, daytime's pretty much good for locals. I didn't really test it too much in the evening. Let's see how it does. So we'll change it to the AM band. Again, looking at the lettering. Yeah, it might come off over time by switching this on and off. But this is emergency radio, so you're probably not using it daily. So you should be okay. You just wrap it up in a bag to protect it. And it probably won't wear off. But I wish they would have used a different contrast there. That does look a little hard to read. So we're on AM. Let's go ahead and turn this up. Start tuning. We'll just get pretty much our locals. It is almost it's 10:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time near Chicago, Illinois. Give you an idea where I'm located in case we pick up anything distant. Not too sure if we will.
Well, I did actually a number of years ago. It was Nidal Hassan who yelled extremist
560 WIND, Chicago.
his fellow soldiers at Fort Hood.
Of course, you don't need the FM antenna for the AM. AM has its own internal antenna.
No, they were not. They were not. And his colleagues.
Can you pick up that buzzing? That's big coming from that. I noticed it upstairs too, away from any kind of power.
Should run the business, okay? You gotta buy materials, you gotta buy products, so you gotta put money back into. And Bomb had to say.
I mean, I think it was a pay just due to Roethlisberger's age.
670 the score.
I don't think they'll fall off too much. I think
there's probably a little bit of a low from Contra Costa County or from down south in South Bay or something.
720 WGN, Chicago.
Hard city. And those hills, I remember it when I was like 6.
Okay, music there, 740. And if you notice, the scale is pretty good. I'm going to bring it up. We're on 740 right now. This is CFZM, Toronto, Ontario, which is 460 miles away. Not bad for an emergency radio. Didn't expect to get that. Pretty impressed. This is very fun when you can pick up stations at night, even on an emergency radio. It's kind of nice because, you know, power's out. This is your only source of entertainment. You're going to want something, and having the AM band is nice because there's quite a bit going on.
Worn untucked and will look great as we get back to the things we've been missing, like dinner with friends.
This is 760 WJR, Detroit, Michigan, about 270 miles away.
Untuck it. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Use code here.
Then he moved to Tulsa.
Here's 780 WBBM, Chicago, News Radio. This is a good source for traffic, weather radio. Also, old-time radio at night, Monday through Friday, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. Or Central Daylight Time, Central Time. You get the idea.
You want to live. Well, you handle life's questions.
He's got 11 boards.
1,000. So you can see there's a lot of dead zone there. This is 1,000 WMVP, Chicago. Now you could probably go back and forth and probably pull out some stations from there since I got Zoomer. I assume I can get WHAS on 840. But for this video, we're just going to see what we can pull in just by tuning straight up the dial.
And talk to the trainer who actually doesn't want to talk to the trainer who's... if you miss a pitch, you know...
I think this is 1100 WTAM, Cleveland, Ohio, about 300 miles.
We went in and we spent the 50 cents on the score.
The stockpile, we're getting them out.
1120 KMOX, St. Louis, Missouri, 275 miles.
Starting back in December, and who would have...
Next time on AM 1160s, a new beginning. We'll sometimes say that's like heaven on earth.
Save money in your new 4x4 during the Jeep Celebration event at Marina. Drive a brand new 2021 Jeep Renegade 4x4 with its attractive styling.
This is $180.
$169 a month with only $169 down. An offer like this can only be made by Marina. For details, call 1-866-202-9539. Come to Marine Jeep in Webster or see us online at marinaautogroup.com. That's marinaautogroup.com.
Hi, this is Brian Frosch.
Okay, it's 1180 WHAM, Wham, Rochester, New York, 545 miles. I think he mentioned Rochester there.
Non-Medicare
for Washington. It's not as Congress. What do we do, Terry? What the hell are we doing?
1210 WPHT, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles.
4congress.com. Joe Kent, 4congress.com. And 4 is FOR.
Been sick. My 19-year-old son has been sick. Covering the border. A PSA blood test. Your doc's probably checked everything out. They're saying everything's okay. Everything's cool. Everything's kosher. And that's great. And that's...
This is Nashville, I believe. 1510 WLAC. About 434 miles.
One, you want to make sure you're getting plenty of zinc. Zinc's a big mineral. And also South Palmetto.
They always have a health thing going on.
As far as supporting the prostate gland. And then one more.
I think it's very legitimate, and it's very...
1530, yes. You should know this by heart. I got my little cheat sheet to my left here with all my stations. I keep it handy. You guys can see. It's nice to have. 1530 WCKY, Cincinnati, Ohio, 300 miles.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be.
It is a bet by the people who back earmarked it.
This sounds like KXEL 1540, Waterloo, Iowa, 210 miles.
You can slip this one right past them. And to the...
So back and forth tuning helps with the DSPs, but it tunes fairly good. And the noise isn't too bad with these lights going, so I noticed that right now in the evening it's really good. During the day it will become annoyance on faint stations, but if you're just tuning locals, no problem, you won't hear a buzzing.
62 now. Again, 800-416-1962. That's 800-416-1962.
Okay, top of the band, we're done. All right, we'll go ahead and turn this off. All right, so yeah, the Aomais Power 1. Is it a good radio? Yes, for the money, it's a great radio. You get quite a bit for the 35 minus like a coupon, like say you get 5 or 10% off and get this for around $30. If you ever get it on sale that cheap, that would be a recommended buy because I know there's not the optional dry battery storage. So you'd have to make sure you maintain your radio, charge it every 3 months, and check it to make sure the internal battery is working well for you. So some people might call it a disposable radio because you can't change that battery. But I mean, I gotta imagine if you maintain this radio, you could probably get easily 5-10 years out of it as far as the internal battery goes. And then you figure out, there's going to be new radios in 5 or 10 years for sure. But this is nice to have as a quick, tool in emergency. Love the lighting. Again, keep it charged because it will charge your phone up. That 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there is great. Glad to hear that they put that big battery in. Typically they're like I did the Submarine 1. Surprising. This is called the Power 1. So I don't know if they're related companies or not, but the Power 1 looks kind of weird looking. Looks like a fish. That one I like a lot because it has a rechangeable battery, but yeah, it's only it only comes with a 2,000 milliamp hour battery, and you can only put up to 3,550 inside there. You can't go any bigger. But this one here, it's 5,000 right off the bat, which is nice. And I guess if you're crafty enough, you could definitely change the battery if you feel comfortable with that. Maybe you can even wire something external out, and you could plug in a battery source too. I have a radio like that where I modified it and I have a little panel jack where you can plug in 4.2 volts. So pretty neat setup. So there it is, the Aomais Power 1. It gets a recommended buy for me, definitely. For emergency radio, I like it. It has great looks. It's tough. It feels solid. Has great reception. Pretty much what you need in emergency. And it does everything very well. It charged my phone really nicely. So the output for that really impressed. And the lighting on this thing is just beautiful. That's what you want. You want to be able to find stuff. If you don't have an extra flashlight, this will be plenty of light. And it'll do it quite a while. You saw that chart, how long that would last. So there it is. Awesome. So hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a big like if you guys did. 2, if you like emergency radios and you like this brand, this Aomais Power 1, hit subscribe at the bell icon. Get notified of future reviews with emergency radios featured because I love to do these. And 3, comment below what you think about this Aomais Power 1 model. Is this something you were looking at? I mean, this one just caught my eye because I like the design. I like the simplicity. There's no soft touch plastics. This is all nice, regular plastic. That is a nice feature. Got a lanyard spot there. Nice dynamo. Everything about it does scream like a nice build quality. So I'll give it that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in my next video.